Okay, we've got Matt Grodeman with us and Phillip Boshears, and we're talking about the lake season. And I just pulled Matt in. He happened to come in, but in thinking about what I've always thought lake season was Memorial Day to Labor Day. Phillip has taught me that it has extended, and I know you, with Helping Hands, you do the cleaning service and provide that for a lot of lake owners, a lot of Airbnbs, VRBOs. What are you seeing as the lake season?
So it's actually becoming year-round. Like even last week, a bunch of northern schools came down on their spring break, and their rowing teams trained on Norris Lake.
Oh, wow.
So
is the lake flat enough at that time of year for them to do that?
Yeah, a lot of them come down. Some of them even go to Oak Ridge, but a lot of them are coming to Norris. I know Shanghai Marina always gets a bunch of rowers. Those Twin Cove, they book out their whole resort.
Wow.
With rowers, and it's every February.
Was down here last week.
Oh, wow. And then, the beauty of that is they come here for that, and then in 5 years when they're married and they're looking for a place to go for a week, they've already been exposed.
Yeah, and honestly, after Memorial Day, or after Labor Day, I think it's the best time to come to the lake. I think people are starting to figure that out too.
Yeah, especially once people get their kids in school.
When August and school starts through the week, that's the best time to be on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
I spend more time on the lake post Labor Day, on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. And there's nobody
There's
out
no
there.
one out there. It's perfect.
I love that. So take note if you're looking to come to the lake.
Yeah, don't though.
Don't during that time. We want to keep it to ourselves. Well, we went through kind of the lake, going through talking about some of the different marinas, and I don't know where this will fall in the series, but we talked a little bit about how every marina has a culture or a feel or something, and what parts of the lake are your favorite. I said it's kind of like that love the one you're with. It's wherever I am on the lake. It's my favorite right then. But what part of the lake is your favorite? Just to go hang out or just to ski? What part?
So as far as like marinas are concerned, I like to go drink at Whitman. I like to have dinner at Shanghai.
Gosh, that's best of both worlds. And then go get ice cream at Springs.
Yeah. On the way back. But I guess you are right. Different marinas kind of offer different things. I feel like I meet more of my friends at Whitman or Sugar.
Yeah.
As opposed to go out having a drink. But if I want to go out to dinner, sometimes I go to Shanghai or Stardust.
Well, their food is phenomenal. And then have you eaten at Flat Hollow since they've changed the menu?
I haven't been up to Flat Hollow.
There was some kind of crazy hamburger, and I mean this in a nice way, hamburger with a blueberry or blackberry Dijon reduction on the burger. It was like something you would get in a very expensive restaurant. One of the best things I've ever eaten in my life at Flat Hollow Marina. And you just don't expect. Fish tacos, I think it was at Powell Valley, were excellent. Of course, I love the wings at Indian River, but also at Sequoia.
Yeah.
Sequoia is great. It's been a staple. Friday night, Corona and wings.
And then I know Twin Cove, they always have something going on. And their patio's so big, like playing cornhole, like just going and having a good time. They're always really nice.
I like to go there like on an off night, like a Monday or something when there's not a lot of people there. Not that I don't like the crowd, but sometimes I just don't like the crowd.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of like us. Whenever you go to the lakes, someone there knows you.
And they're going to...
Everyone wants to talk. Sometimes it's just nice to go enjoy it.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. But we were also talking about the lake and about all the, if you look at some of the maps, the green areas, those state land or federal, whatever Chuck Swan is, and whatever, we always called it the area. You have to say it that way, the area out at Macedonia. But those, if you're around those, you're not going to have private dogs. You're not going to have, it's going to be a little bit more quiet. And there's some places between Sequoia and Whitman and Sequoia and Indian River that there's a lot of quiet places. Yeah, empty coves that you can just go hang out.
I lived out by Indian for forever, and it was always the quietest, nicest place in the lake.
Yeah.
Because sometimes early in the morning, you had all the fishermen.
Yeah.
But after about 7 a.m., there was no one.
Yeah.
Because White Bridge is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. They would all come from there. But you didn't really have much.
No.
And White Bridge is what the locals have always called Lona's Lonas, Campbell County Park.
Oh,
Lonas Young and Campbell County Park.
Yeah, I didn't
so if you're
know
looking
that.
on a map, that's the name of it. But we always call it the White Bridge.
Yeah,
and I was
didn't
just,
know the real name of it.
I forget how much older I am than everybody. And a minute ago I said, like when we were kids, people would jump off the top of the Cedar Creek Bridge because it had a metal frame. And they would get up and jump off the top. I said, now there's no metal frame. And Phillip said, no, not my lifetime. I said, oh, I forget how much older I am.
I remember that one.
But, I remember guys would always get in trouble for diving off the top of it. Can you imagine that? How stupid that is.
I remember a big box truck was coming out of Deerfield. When we stopped it and climbed on top of it and jumped off that.
Because that was safe.
Yeah.
Safety first. Like you tell everybody that works at Helping Hands, safety first.
The water was high. It wasn't as far as what you'd think.
Yeah, but it was still probably pretty
It was up
far.
there.
But we've kind of gone through the lakes and talking about the different areas. What's your favorite thing to do on the lake? Are you a wakeboarder? Are you just go fast? I listen to music.
I like to surf, but I guess I spend more time doing nothing out in the middle of the lake.
When I can get on the lake, I try to get where my phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, there's a couple of places you've taken me in Big Creek, between Whitman and I guess the big water of Big Creek, which isn't the real big water, but the big water of Big Creek. There's a couple of coves and my phone doesn't work. And if I can get on the lake, I really want to be
Away.
not working.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I spend more time in the middle of the lake doing nothing.
Yeah.
Just go flow.
Yeah. We usually surf a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening, sometimes on the way back, but most of the time it's just going out there and doing nothing.
Do you ever go to the bridge type?
Yeah, only on like the packed weekends.
Yeah. When everybody's
Only when
there.
it's totally obnoxious.
Yeah. I might be one of those people.
We took my little nephew, it was 4th of July. I don't remember if it was the 4th of July or the day before, the day after. My nephew wanted to see it. And he's little. And my great nephew. And so we drove over there and he kept saying, what is this? And I was so tempted to say Sodom and Gomorrah. But I didn't. I didn't say it, but I was so tempted because you'll see everything there.
On the holiday, it is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun. And, the thing is, I think we have a perspective of it as, it's probably like people that live near an ocean, where you could go and you don't get the wonder and the awe of people who are just here for a week.
Right.
And I hate to see it rain for a whole week when people have come for a vacation. I bet you hate for a different reason because they're missing an
a
hour.
very different reason because they're always in the houses the whole week. Yeah. As opposed to them hardly ever being there, they just stay there.
So what do you find on Airbnb? I'll ask you this and you can answer. When people are looking to rent, I've always heard a bedroom with a door and a bathroom is a couple. And then they'll throw kids anywhere. Is that kind of like if there's several families, a 3-bedroom would be 3 people, 3 families? Or is it not?
I think that's dependent on the size of the group. Like
Okay.
we get a mixture. Sometimes we get 3 different couples with no kids, 3 or 4 different couples, and then sometimes we get a family like your grandma and grandpa, 2 sons and wives.
Okay.
It just varies, and I think that it kind of suits whatever the group is.
I say I could almost break it down a little further. I think it depends on the house.
Yeah.
Size of the house matters. Smaller houses gets different clientele than bigger
And
houses.
one family probably.
Yeah. Bigger houses, they'll cram. Then they're just looking for beds.
Yeah.
And they'll
So-
lay them up like cordwood, as they say.
so for example, like out of Lakeside Estates, they all
Yeah.
have huge houses that sleep 25 plus.
Yeah.
Well, the clientele they get is the whole family comes. So if you go to somewhere else, say Windsor Point, you might get 2 families renting, a really beautiful house, but it's not quite that big, and because they're looking for something different.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I guess it really depends on the type of house.
One thing too, and you both probably know this as well as I do, or better than I do, those docks almost become an extension of the house. That becomes the living room. People load up, go to the dock, swim, take the boat out, and at the end of the day come back to the house in a lot of situations. So I find people are looking at the dock almost as that, what I would consider the patio or the outdoor living space. Now it's the dock.
I say a lot of outdoor amenities really help. Nice fire pits or big cellars, 2-level docks where they can sit above the dock.
Yeah.
Those, whenever you see people on those, they're always out there.
Yeah, if you've got that access.
So when you have those, that's a big selling point. And then with that is how steep is your drop, or how steep is your...
Where can you park? Who can you park?
Well, from the house to the dock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like sometimes that is, because if it's really bad, if you're bringing your grandmother or whatever, they can't make that. And some of them have trams, some don't. That's a hard get.
147 steps on my old body.
Yeah.
Out of shape, over 55.
And it's not the down, it's the up.
Yeah.
That's because everyone's fresh every morning, ready to get down there.
You carry a cooler and a sleeping toddler.
Yeah. On the way up.
Yeah. That's
so
bad.
We see that is...
What about an amenity in the house? Like second refrigerator, ice maker? I mean, what do you see as a realtor and then as a Airbnb? I mean, what do y'all see about that?
Really, people love showers.
A shower.
Like if you have a nice shower, that is a selling point. But as far as amenities in the house, for those renters you talk about, they have like a air hockey table or a ping pong table.
Rec room kind of thing.
But that's more is like worst case scenario. Like they get used, but they really get used if they're stuck in the house for a day or two.
As crazy as it sounds, a very well appointed kitchen, like you wouldn't believe the people that ask, do you have a crock pot? Do you have like random stuff? And I guess if you really think about it, like they're coming for a week or whatever, they don't have anything, and they're used, like if they're going to plan on cooking 4 or 5 nights out of the week, and they've got 12, 15 people, they want to have everything that they would at home.
Well, and also, I know when people are looking to buy a lake house, they'll say, well, typically there's 3 of us, 3 women, or 3 couples, or 3 men cooking dinner or grilling, and they want to make sure that there's room for somebody to be making a salad, somebody over here to be prepping a meat, and somebody over here. And they want room for multiple people to work in a kitchen, so you're probably right about that too.
And outdoor grilling, that's actually big.
Yeah, that's a must.
So from what we see is if they have a nice grill set up, they never even use the oven. Rarely ever.
You probably like that.
But if they have like a really nice grill set up, people rarely ever use the oven. They'll use the stovetop, what I assume for maybe side stuff like that, but never the oven if they have a grill set up. If they don't, it's always used.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Right.
That's pretty...
Anything else unique to North Lake that you can think of?
It's beautiful.
It is.
It's probably... I've been to a bunch of lakes, and I don't know if I'm just extremely biased.
I am biased.
I think there's so many times when you don't have to look at a house, you don't have to look at anything developed. There's so much undeveloped land, and it's protected, that I love to be on the boat and just be looking at trees. It's almost like God just set this, TBA, just set this lake in the middle of mountains, and it's untouched a great deal. 800 miles of shoreline is about what the California coast is.
Right.
And when you think about, that's what this, all the little, coves and nooks and crannies, but there's so much to see. You don't ever get tired of it.
No, you can drive up and down the lake and enjoy all of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I like to sit in a cove for a little while, float on my noodle, and then get back in, waller back in to the boat, and then get back in the boat, and then go up and down, listen to music, and go up and down the lake. That's my relaxation. That's what I like to do. What about you?
I would agree. I like to surf. I like, some of the water sports.
Yeah, tear up the shorelines.
Yeah.
Mess up the dock.
Hang up the dock. You like you're really close to a dock and then take off really bad. Yeah.
Not one of those people.
No, you guys aren't those people.
And you know what? I have been a couple times on accident, but...
Well, I have gotten closer than I wanted to other people. And I was just saying, before everybody was complaining about the wake boats or the wakeboarders and the surfers, they were complaining about the jet skiers.
Yeah.
The kids on jet skis, the jet skis getting too close to the boats, the jet skis getting too close. There's always going to be a fishing tournament when everybody takes off on a fishing tournament.
I don't know if you
That's
remember.
Insane.
They tried to get a sound law passed on Norris Lake your boat could only be so many decibels, and every one of these outboard engines on those fishing boats used to be, before they were all 4 strokes.
Yeah.
They were loud.
They sounded like
some of them were
motorcycle or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone's always got something.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be something else. If it's not this, it's going to be something else. But honestly, okay, what have you heard? We talked about this earlier. What have you heard is a sign that the fish will be biting?
Oh, I have no idea.
You really
I'm
haven't?
not a fisher.
When the willer trees are budding out,
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
not a fishing guy.
let's see that one, and then what'd you say? If the cows are laying down, just go back home.
Yeah.
And a walleye moon, a big moon, like a full moon. I thought, surely to goodness, you'd have something.
No, I think I've probably heard them all, but I don't remember what they are.
You didn't care enough to
No.
retain it because
Yeah.
you're not going to be using it. All right.
The old Farmer's Almanac ain't for me.
Listen, I even got the dentist by the almanac, and everybody laughs at me about that. But I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't want that appointment. That's not the signs aren't right." And I mean, you laugh, but I do it. I mean, surgeries and everything. I do it by the almanac. Oh, thanks so much, Matt Grodeman, Helping Hands. You guys do. You don't do true management, but you do cleaning service, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We do not manage, we don't book, we just take care of your house for you.
Yeah, and the mess is made.
Yeah.
And Phillip Boshears, realtor and Airbnb owner and general Norris technologist.
Wow. I like that title. Can I add that to my business card?
You sure can. Thanks, guys.